let me show you how you can use Orca to do some DeFi farming and hopefully, not financial advice, get some decent trading fees. Before we dive in though, if you're new to DeFi farming, make sure you've actually watched the DeFi farming overview video and make sure you're also familiar with impermanent loss. The video on impermanent loss is not affiliated with Jupiter, it's by Whiteboard Crypto, it's linked below. It's just a fantastic, easy explainer for you to get your head around a somewhat complex topic. With that being said, let's dive in. So here we are at dupe.ag. Of course, this is where we always do our swaps, and we come up to the top here to this icon and then welcome to Solana. Now click get started and just scroll right on down. Scroll on down to where you see explore dApps and then click on liquidity, and you can see multiple things here, but we're after Orca. Click on this to open it up. This takes us to what's now called Orca V2 version 2 beta, but you can also find Orca from Twitter here at orca_so. Here's their link tree and here is their dApp address. So now let's go over to the left hand side, click on this, the drop, and this takes us to liquidity pools. We should go ahead and connect our wallet as well. So let's come down to the bottom, click on the wallet icon, and we'll go and connect our wallet. We won't go with Brave Wallet. You're welcome to use Brave Wallet though. We've got all of these options here. So we'll use Phantom for this tutorial. Connect and connect. In my Phantom wallet, I've got a little bit of USDC, $130 worth, and a little bit of Solana. And this address is exactly the same as what I'm using in Solflare, and it's the same for Backpack and Coinbase wallet as well. So choosing a liquidity pool is quite a bit of an art. Sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't do well, sometimes you make money, sometimes you lose money. Because I just want to show you how it works, we're not going to focus too much on that. We can cover maybe some guidelines for selecting a liquidity pool in a future tutorial. Essentially though, I am looking for decent fee revenue, pretty good TVL, and ideally an okay kind of yield based on the TVL. Anything that is a meme coin, it has a little bit more risk. You really need to do your research into meme coins before you jump into liquidity providing. Now Orca does theirs a little bit different. They work out the yield based on 24 hours. So if we take this 0.25 times by 4, that's 1%. So 1% yield every 4 days. So maybe that's approximately like 80-85% over the course of a year. It can go up and of course it can go down. You can see meme coins such as Jason and Sol. This has a much higher yield, but it can be subjected to quite a lot of impermanent loss. I'm going to go and search for the token Dupe, and we've got a pool here, Dupe and Sol. It's earning 0.18% based on the TVL every 24 hours. So let's enter this one. We've got different ranges here. We can go with full or custom. If we do the full range, our yield will be far lower. If we do custom, basically, depending on where we have these markers, we will essentially get more or less yield. So maybe not quite like that. If you're doing anything like this, then you need to check your positions every day or sometimes a couple of times every day. Even that kind of amount is probably not quite enough. So I'm going to change it to about this and we'll see how we do. If we manage to stay in this trading range, we will generate some trading fees. So now I need to add some Dupe and some Sol. If I had quite a bit of Dupe or maybe quite a bit of Sol, I could always turn on auto swap. However, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to go back to Dupe and I'm going to get some myself. So we'll come back to Dupe and we'll go and grab 50 USDC worth of Sol, approve that. So here I've got 50 USDC. I'm going to go and trade this into Dupe. We'll go and swap and then we'll go and approve. We're getting basically $50 worth of Dupe. So very minor trading fees. And then we'll go back to Orca. So let's go ahead and we're going to add the max amount of Dupe. And that's going to take this amount of Solana. We'll go ahead and we'll deposit. So it's going to remove the Jupiter, the Solana, and we're going to get one unknown token. This is going to be an NFT and I'll show you it very shortly. Now we can click on portfolio. We can see we have Dupe and Sol. And if we go up into our Phantom wallet, we can go to our NFTs. We can see we have an Orca Whirlpool position. Do not burn this. If you burn that, you will not be able to recover your tokens. I'm going to let this generate some trading fees for the next few days, and then I'll show you in the next tutorial how we can remove the liquidity and harvest any rewards. That's all for this tutorial. Catch you in the next one.